Welcome back to the Girl Cave. Look at this mess. Isn't it beautiful? Okay, I'm getting ready to make a layout. It's a one picture layout, and this is the mess I make. But I did something better this time. I think it's better. Last week, it took me an hour to pull supplies for one layout. Well, this time I decided we can't do that. I mean, come on, this is crazy. So I set the timer for 30 minutes and I said, go pick anything you want that relates to this picture. So I started out with my boy stuff and I thought, oh, this will be cute. And then as I picked out all of these things, oops, including some cut aparts and the chipboard and the stickers, I had a moment and I said, oh, I know what I'm going to do. So none of this is needed. None of that is needed. But it's okay because within those 30 minutes, I had plenty of time. Let me put this out of the way. So I'm not even gonna need the journaling cards, I don't think. I'll use the chipboard, and I don't think I need the stickers or the chipboard. Maybe some chipboard, I don't know. I don't know at this point, but basically what I need are strips. So I went through, because I needed strips. This is gonna be a stash bashing layout. So I went through my paper strips that I keep in a coffee mug, and I picked all of these. I was looking for bright colors. I picked all of these. Some of them are like 6 inches, some of them are 12. I picked those. I went through my basket, and remember, when you see this video, it's going to be January and the basket is gone. But right now it is still December 10th. So remember, I had these, which were, I didn't even know how to use these. I'm going to use them today. I also had this leftover. I'm going to use it today. And I might even use this little water bottle. I might. I also went through some other strips that I had, and I'm going to use that one. I'll save the ones that say fabric for layouts that I do with my quilting, but that yellow one I'm going to use. And I have these, and I might even use those even though they're not bright colors. I have more strips of paper. These I don't know, because they have glitter. I don't know. I don't like doing glitter on boy pages for some reason. And these are kind of pastel colors. These might go in, they may not. I have some wood veneer. I have some puffies, and I think from this puffy I might only need like a few, like that planet and the go, just a few, maybe 3. And then I pull out all of the washi that I had that seemed bright and colorful. This one, it was coming off the roll, so I just cut it off just like that. That might be good enough. I've got these. This one's not even open. And then when I go to crops, I take the washi that I think I'm gonna use for the photos that I'm taking. So I'm gonna use that bright one there, the one with the hexagons. I might use the stripes. I'll just pick and choose from here. I like that blue. So I'll just pick and choose and then put them back away like this, because they go with my kit that I'm gonna use. I'm not gonna use that, so I don't need that. I have some frames. I don't think I'm gonna use them. And I will use some stickers and puffies. Very few, but mostly what I'm going to use and this is the picture. This is the picture that started this madness. I love this little brad. I'm gonna use that. I might even use this, I'm not sure. But this is what I have to pick from. And it's gonna be an easy, simple layout, but it's gonna be a little bit time consuming because there's a lot of strips. So I'm basically going to wallpaper my sheet of paper with those strips. and then put the photo down and then decorate. I won't make you watch me cutting strips and gluing them down because, like I said, it's gonna be a lot. But I'll show you the base of my page, and I'm gonna set the timer and see how long it takes me. But not by my watch, because sometimes like I start something and then I go and check on the food or check on the laundry, or I don't know, I get distracted because that's how I am. And that's why I love having my girl cave, because I can leave the mess here, close the door, nobody cares, and then I'll come back when I remember, like after 15-30 minutes. That's just the way I go. Okay, I cleaned up a little bit here, but I wanted to share with you something else. Whenever I'm going to start a layout, I pick my papers and whatnot, and then I always go into my scraps and look through my scraps and pull out those colors. So for this one, I picked out anything that I had that looked fun or kind of primary. And then I also picked out, I knew that I had these specialty paper, which I don't know what they feel like handmade paper, the thickness, and they have kind of that swirly color. And I pulled all of them out because I know I'm going to be making a planet, and I'm going to use my Kiwi Lane templates to do that, like a circle and an oval. So I pulled those aside, and then I went through my scraps and I pulled out anything. I mean, look at this, but I think I could use some of that. And this is how I keep my scraps. I have a book bin that I got at Target. And then I have a photo sleeve, 12 by 12 photo sleeve, and I keep them by color. Within each one, I also have an 8.5 by 11 sheet protector, and I keep the smaller pieces in there. And I make it a point to go through my scraps for every single layout, because otherwise we just keep adding to the scrap pile, and it gets to be too much. And this is all I have. And actually, if we're very specific, this is my scrap pile. These two pockets here, I'll show you what they are. These are heavyweight papers that I don't like anymore. So I use them when I have to wallpaper a sheet. And instead of using white cardstock or solid colored cardstock, I just use my ugly papers as a base. And then I have another pile that are not the prettiest of paper, but when I use them as a mat for an entire layout, you just see a little bit of the paper showing through, and they add such an interesting look to them and a pop of color. And these I keep them. I mean, I have quite a bit of them because I had a lot of older paper that I knew I wasn't going to use, like this one. Okay, not that fantastic looking. I mean, it's kind of dated, but let me see if I can find. Okay, let's see. Let me get a sheet of paper here. But if I use this sheet of paper to do a mat around the other one, you just have that little hint of color. You can't even really tell most of the time that it's a sun, right? So I can do a little really thin one, or I could make a wider one, and it just adds a little bit of pop of color, and I love it. So I don't throw them away, but I do when I go through my papers to do a destash. I really look at each sheet of paper individually first. If it's heavyweight, I use it for when I wallpaper layouts. And if it's thin paper or it has an interesting colorway or pattern to it, I see if I would like it as a border, and then I have them separate. So this one is matting, and this one I call like base pages, and I keep them with my scraps because if I need a little something something, I got them ready. The point is, after all of this, the point is, use your scraps. Go through your scraps first. Pull them, because if you don't pull them at the beginning, chances are you're not going to get up and go look for them. But if when you're pulling papers for your page kits, you specifically go to your scraps, whether they be big pieces or strips of paper, you are more apt to use them. Which is why every year I pull out items that I have just a little bit left over that I might not be too crazy about, and I put them in my basket. And I try not to pull more than 12 items, because if you pull a lot, then you're not going to, like, it defeats the purpose. It's too much. But if you just pick like 12 items or maybe 20 items, and you go through it every single time that you make a layout throughout the year, you're more apt to use them up. Like this year, I'm really using up a lot of my basket. I think I may have like 3 items left out of, I think I picked out 20 this year. Let me clean up again and get started on my layout. See what I mean about not staying here and being able to use my watch to tell how long it takes to make a layout? Because I just went, I had some waffles, I put out some stuff, and I'm now getting to sit down and work on this. So I'm gonna set a timer and see how long it takes me to physically work on the layout. If I get up again, I'll stop the timer, because otherwise it might take me a month, because I keep running back and forth. You know, you gotta do the mommy thing. I paused the video to show you I made a little plan. Oops, sorry. I'm filming with my hand instead of the camera mount. So I cut an oval and a circle. I fold the oval halfway like this without creasing it, and then I cut a slit through the middle, and then you just in there. That's it. So what I'm going to do now is ink the edges so that they have a little bit more separation. 3 minutes. How cute is that? 7 minutes in, I sorted between solid colored print, and I even ripped a few of them, and I matte my photo. Let's see how long it takes me to get them down here. It's been 30 minutes. I already wallpapered my base, and look at this. I still have all of these scraps left over. Scraps just never die, which is why I make it a point to pull from my scraps for every single layout, because otherwise they'll take over. Now I need to work on this side of the layout, and for that I'm going to pick from some chipboard and some stickers, and I'm going to use these leftovers. I will. Well, so much for a fast layout. It took me an hour, but in my defense, I had to make the planet, and I had to stick every single one of those stars with adhesive because they were old. Mrs. Grossman stickers. I don't know if you can see that right there. Let me see. 1984. So I did not want to risk them falling off. So I added, oops, I added a drop of art glitter glue on every single one. But I'm happy with the results. I used all of my little stars, and then I added some wood veneer little stickers. And those, look, from my basket, I just threw them in there. I mean, and then I'm still going to use the water bottle because it's part of my story. And I saved 3 bigger stars, a sticker that says bang, and a little with veneer of a astronaut. And that will go here. My journaling will be quite large, so it will take this area right here. And I'm gonna print it because there's a lot to be said about this guy right here who lost his arm in an accident. And the best part of this story is not the fact that he lost his arm in an accident. When my boys were little, in the year 2000, my husband and my children were playing with rockets made out of a 2-liter soda bottle. And they would strap the little guy to the bottle. At one point, the bottle went flying, and when the bottle came down, it went straight into the gutter. The kids were upset. Remember, they were little at the time. They were a little upset, but my husband went with a long stick. He added some tape to the stick and was able to pick him up. But the guy lost an arm in one of the flights. The best part of the story is that my oldest son, who's 27, still has this little guy. He carries him in his car, and he has had several cars throughout high school, college, and now that he's an adult. And every single car, the first thing he moves from one car to another is this little guy. Isn't that sweet that they hold those memories? I almost forgot to mat this entire layout, so I'm going to mat it on red cardstock. And this is my trick, because once I put the adhesive on my paper, it's really hard to make sure that I get it centered. So what I do is I put it on first, and then I use my cup, which is really, really heavy, and it will hold the paper there so it doesn't move on me. And I just run my adhesive. And even if the entire layout moves, it's gonna be fine because the paper itself does not. So I got one side down. Let me see if I can get in there. There. Ta-da! That was fast. Now it's complete. 1 hour. That's not bad considering that I did all of these little strips. I made my planet, and I had to add adhesive to every single one of those stars. So these little stickers that I have here, the one that says bang, the water bottle, these stars, these will be part of the cluster that I'm going to put right here or right here once I add my journaling, which I'm going to go print out right now so that I can put it away in an album. And before I forget, this thing right here, that was one of these old patterns, paper piece patterns that you would print off the internet or buy them, and then you actually had to trace the pieces, cut out the pieces, and put it together yourself. I think I got this one off the internet, the year 2000. Finally used. I love bashing old supplies because it means that I'm making room for newer things. Please like this video and share it with your friends. And if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please do so. I'd love to have you be part of my community. And I hope to see you again next week. Bye.